Greetings, awesomes. Welcome back. All right, so here we are with our second video for week 6. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit more specifically about the sections of a white paper. Now, recall, while we are here in week 6, I posted Project 3 resource links in week 5. And so I have clicked on already the writing a white paper link there. And the thing I like about this particular one, I like these sections right here. I like these 6 areas to make sure that you are thinking about and or addressing. Title page, I think that's pretty obvious. Recall the, if we go back here to look at these VisMe white paper examples, we'll just stop and look at the first one. Right, here's a title page, right? You don't have to, you might not have, some of these I think have like volume numbers and maybe issue numbers and stuff like that, but you don't have to have that, something that's just professional looking-ish, if you will, okay? That's fine. And then this one here this one has a table of contents. You'll find that some of them will, right after the title page or perhaps on the same page or page 2, we'll have the table of contents kind of built into either the second page, or sometimes they'll be built down in here, like in the lower left-hand corner, and say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this case, so that I'm not too concerned about it. I don't feel like it needs to be a whole page, but if that's part of the design that you want to use, that's perfectly fine. More importantly is what follows, your introduction and the sections. They're the most important part, 2 parts, I guess. Introduction, right? Including a kind of a problem statement, right? Or a challenge statement, or we might even call it the issue statement. That's going to be most imperative, right? As you're bringing in someone and saying, okay, hey, there's this thing, there's a problem, there's an issue, and here's what it is very succinctly. Give us a little bit of background information, perhaps on it. To kind of lead us into, guide us. So think about, go back to Introductions 101, right? For writing just about every single paper. Say, here's the area that we're talking about. And you go from very kind of general to very, very specific. And then once you hit that very, very specific area, now we're going to get really research heavy into the background of that specific area. And that'll probably take up the bulk, maybe a couple pages, right? And then your proposed solution, maybe half a page, your conclusion half a page, and then your final page with references and citations. All right, so it's like you're writing a research paper in a way, right? Make sure that you cite your sources. I prefer that we use APA, I think is what's listed on there. If you have another particular one that you think would work better for this, as long as you're consistent, I'm not too concerned about which citation system that's used. As long as you pick one and you stick with it, that's totally fine with me. So the biggest thing is make sure that you introduce, kind of get us from general to specific, what it is very specifically that you're talking about, right? And that could include a little bit of background about the overall thing, but once you hit down, you want to get really down and get very, very specific. Here's the thing I'm talking about. And then you provide the background research, right? Here's where you just want to provide the kinds of information that someone needs to know that details the problem, right? What are the issues about the problem? What are some of the effects? So you've kind of, let's say if it's, not that every single one is going to be cause and effect, but let's say it's cause and effect-ish, right? So you've got this thing that you're saying that causes it. What are all the effects, right? What are all the, provide to make sure that every single one of your points that you make, you have some research to back it up and that you are quoting it. Preferably paraphrase. It shouldn't, this paper shouldn't be super quote heavy. This paper should be more, where you just reference the material, right? You put it into your own words, right, if you will. Just don't plagiarize. Put it into your own words, and then just, have a citation, right? Or maybe you're going to, at the end of the sentence, put a number 1, you have a number 2, you have a number 3 or whatever, and then your reference page maybe is listed by numbers. That usually works well for these types of papers. And then the other thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you are every single thing that you're providing evidence in the form of that these aren't just theoretical issues, right? That you can point to at least a resource, a source in this case, for why it's a problem. And same would be true even for your proposed solution. If you're proposing a particular type of solution, let's say that you're banking heavily on the results of something that you have learned elsewhere, just make sure that you give a nod to it. I'm not expecting your solutions aren't supposed to be something that you think of independently, right? If you're borrowing from out there in the world what these solution or what this solution or what the solution will then do as far as having other additional benefits and features, you're going to get those from somewhere. Okay, you're not expected, especially in a 2-week period of time, to come up with all the solutions on your own. But wherever you find solutions, make sure that you give credit to where credit is due, where the credit is due. And so what you're doing is gathering a bunch of information, right, from external sources, just kind of like a research paper, right? That's essentially what you're doing. We're just kind of putting it in the structure of the white paper. So I hope that helps and makes sense. Answers any other questions that you may have had about how to write this thing. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, do not hesitate to let me know. Until